Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we successfully store all that our task, all that our user in our both of this table, right? There is a user, all the data, and also there is a task. There is a task, all the data. Now I want to get all that data. So if you want to get it, is very easy process. I hope you already remember that part. Here after this, okay. Here after this, I want to create new one. Right now that will be on the get method, right? I simply added that get app. And then I want to do here, we have to also add that our URL will be same for the task. I name it as a task, okay. And then we have to create one of the request handler, and the request handler, if you want to create it, that will be pass two of this parameter. One of the request, another is the response, right? I simply pass both of this in here, and that will be one of the asynchronous function. For the reasons here I want to also add that as a asynchronous in here. So that is the asynchronous. I simply added that things in here. Okay. So in particular that position, what exactly we have to do? Simply we have to add that our find method. With this find method, we want to get this data, right? I take one of the variable as a constant, and with the constant I name it as a task. Okay. And then that will be on the await, and with this await our task model. So that is our task model. So with this task model I want to add that our find method. So that will be our find method, right? Into this find method I want to get all the data. Simply I get it and I want to return it. That means the return, I want to return with the response. That will be on the JSON format. I make it as a JSON, and into the JSON area I want to display that success, right? So that will be a success message, and success I want to make it as a true. So that will be as a true, and here I want to pass our all that task. I take that things with this variable, and here I simply pass it. Simple work. I hope every part is very much clear to you. So here we don't need to pass any status code, because when it will be get all the data automatically, that will be as a 200, right? I simply add that things in here. Right now if you want to check it, click as a save all, and now go to our API. I want to create another new one. In here I want to create on the new request as a add request. I make it as a fetch a task, okay, task data. So I simply add that name as a fetch task data, save it, and now I want to open it. So that will be the same here, but I copy it and then I paste it. That will be as a task, right? I name it as a task, and that is will be on the get method, which is totally fine. And now if you click as a send, now yes, you can see there is a status code as of 200, and it's perfectly get all the data. So right now there is a 3 data in our database. You can see there is a 3 data, and now it successfully get all that our 3 data. Now I want to get that all that our user data. If you want to get it, that will be just like that same, but I copy it, and after that I paste it. That will be as a user, our URL. I hope friend every part is very clear. So there is a request handler, and then I name it as users. So there is a users, and our model name for the user as a user, right? So that is with this user I want to find all the data. Then in our response JSON, that success will be as a true, and I want to pass that our user data. Great. So that's all for the user, get all the data. Now if you click as a save all, and now go to that our API, and now I want to create another request for this. Click as a add request. I name it as a fetch user data. So I simply name it as a fetch user data. Click as the new one. Now that is our user data. So I simply copy it, and then that will be our user, because here I have already named it as a user, right? And that will be on the get method. For the reasons I make it as a get method. Now click as a send. Now that should be get all that our user data. You can see status as a 200, which is totally fine, and then you can see a success. I pass it as a true, and that is all that our user data. Okay, so you can see if you go to our database, into the database, if you go to that user, right now that's all that our user data. That is a 4 user data right now, and you can see that successfully get all that our 4 user data. Perfect. How much easily you get it, how much easily you post it. I hope everything is very much clear to you. In our next video, I want to get a specific some of the user data, or a specific some of the task data. Okay, like here there is one of the specific user. If you want to get that specific ID data for the user, if you want to get some of the specific data for the task, how can do that work? In our next video, I will show you that things with a live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.